Hey, what's up? How you doing? So I'm sure you could have guessed by the title, this video is about should you graduate college early? This is something that a lot of people do. At least at my university, a bunch of people graduate early. A lot of people also graduate late, but you know, that I don't think they choose to do so much as it just sort of happens. But that's not what I'm gonna be talking about. I'm gonna be talking about graduating early and if it is a decision that you might want to make. Some people don't even think about it as an option. Like, I didn't even think about graduating early. I did. I graduated a semester early. I didn't consider it until my advisor told me my sophomore year, I want to say, that I could graduate a semester early if I wanted to. So that's when I decided that I was going to, but before then, it was not in the plan. I'm gonna go through a list of just different things that you might want to consider before you make that decision. We're gonna go over some pros and cons. Everyone's experience is different, obviously, but I'm just gonna go over some maybe things to think about before you make your decision. So let's just get into the discussion points. First, I'm gonna go over why I decided to graduate early and the reasons behind my decision, and then I will go into some other ones. Mostly just to save money. That was the biggest reason I did it. I wanted to save money on tuition and housing and all of that overpriced stuff. And I wanted to jumpstart my career as much as I possibly could. I graduated December 2019 when I was supposed to graduate May 2020. So my thought process was I could stay this extra semester and I could try to get a job in May or in June, or I could graduate in December, try to get a job, start my life in January. That way, I'm not paying this whole extra semester of tuition. I could spend 5 more months not working a career job and paying tuition and paying housing and paying for food, still having all of these expenses and not making money because I'm in school. Or I could graduate in December, get a job in January, and then all those 5 months that I would have just been burning through money without making it back, I can be burning through money, but also making it back because I have a career job now. And I'm burning through less money because I don't have tuition. That was my thought process. That was the reason I did it. Now, this wasn't something I necessarily wanted to do, actually. I did not want to graduate early because I liked college. And I feel like a lot of people are in this boat where they don't want to graduate because they don't want to go into the real world yet. And I feel that. You get that one chance. And then once you graduate, you're gone, you're done, and you're out into the real world, or you can go on to grad school or whatever, but it's not the same. Like, undergrad is its own beast, and it's fun for a lot of people, and I enjoyed college, I liked it. So it was fun to me, and I didn't necessarily want to leave it. I liked my friends, I liked my life in college, and I knew I only had 8 semesters. I only had 4 years, and I was cheating myself out of a semester by graduating early. But I didn't think that the money that I would be spending was worth the fun. If I'm capable of graduating early and the only reason I would stay would basically just be to prolong the college experience and put off life a little bit longer and just have a semester to fool around, yeah, that would be fun, but it was really expensive. So it would be very expensive to be paying for like joke classes, essentially, that I didn't need just to not be out in the real world. I know people who do this. Their last semester is just like a cakewalk, and they could have graduated early if they wanted to, but they just stayed longer because they just wanted to have fun. If you can and you want to, go for it. I could have, but I just, pros and cons. The pros of graduating early outweighed the con. It just wasn't worth it to me. Now let's talk about some pros of graduating early. One pro is that fewer people are entering the job market at whatever time you decide to graduate early, whether it's August, whether it's December. The graduating point's basically May, August, December. May is the one, it's when most people graduate. August is small. I don't know a ton of people who graduate in August. I mean, I know a handful, but it's a smaller graduation date. And then December. I think December is the second biggest. I mean, it might completely depend on the school, but I feel like for MTSU, it was May's the biggest ceremony, December second biggest, August is third. Speaking of, like, if you want to graduate in December, you are entering the job field at a time where most people aren't right out of school. Most people are going to be trying to get jobs in May, June, July, whatever, maybe even August if they really want to put off work. once they graduate school. So you get the benefit of fewer people entering the job market at the same time as you. Also, it's nice, in my opinion, to just like start at the beginning of the year, like start your life at the beginning of a year. Like I started everything here. I got my apartment, I started my job, just basically started my whole new life in January. So it's like starting 2020 completely fresh and new, and I have a literal start date of like, I moved here January 3rd. So I literally like right at the beginning of the year, I was here. I started my new life. And then in terms of like benefits for jobs too, it's nice to start at the beginning of the year. Like if you start in July or August or something, your like paid time off day is gonna be a little bit wonky because you didn't really work the full year. So that can be a little but because I started at the very beginning, I get like all of the paid time off days you get for a year. And then whenever I get any sort of rewards, pay increase, whatever at a year mark, it's just like the start of the new year. It's just nice. I personally like having the beginning of the year mark. Maybe that's not that big of a pro, but I think it's nice. Another pro is you can go ahead and get a head start on your career. If you know what you want to do and you are getting a job right out of college that is in your career field that you were interested in advancing in over the years, then you get a head start. I'm 21 and graduated and started my job and my career, I mean, a little bit earlier than I feel like most people do. I feel like most people graduate when they're 22 or 23. So, I mean, I got a little bit of a head start. Basically, I just get an extra 5-6 months of a head start on what I wanted to do. Maybe not earth-shattering, but it's definitely beneficial to me personally. I'm really happy that I'm already in my job. I'm already pretty comfortable with it and pretty confident in it, and I'm 3 months in. My other option would be to still be in school right now, so I wouldn't be as far in as I already am until like September. Like if you fast forward until September of this year, maybe I would be where I'm at now, and that's just kind of far down the road. I'm just happy that I'm getting started now and advancing my skill set and growing in my job instead of delaying it. Now let's get into some cons, shall we? I already kind of talked about one, but some other cons are, it is kind of annoying to move / start a new job at the beginning of the year. I know I said it's nice that you're like starting at the beginning of the year and it's like aesthetically pleasing, but it's also a pain in the butt because it's around the holidays. I was getting an apartment and I also moved states, so there's like, that's kind of annoying in and of itself. Personally, I moved states. I was getting an apartment without seeing the apartment because I moved 10 hours away from home. I was dealing with applying, interviewing, all like Skype interviews because obviously it was 10 hours away. It actually, from where I was interviewing from, was like 12 hours away. And then other places were also out of state because I applied to mostly out of state jobs. But anyway, I was dealing with applying, interviewing, and then once I accepted the job, signing contracts and talking with, normally probably just management of whoever you're talking with, but the company I work for like outsources the hiring process, so they have like a talent scout person instead. So I was dealing with that talent scout lady and talking with other companies that I'd applied to, and then accepting the job, calling these other people back, signing contracts, doing like all the random little requirements for whenever you accept a job. There's like forms you have to send back, drug tests, whatever you have to do. Dealing with all of this stuff, especially if it's like a big company, there's just a lot of little things that you have to get done, fax over or send over or whatever. And it's a pain when it is around Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, because hours for everything are weird. People are off and not answering phone calls or emails. Getting an apartment was a pain because I was calling places around Thanksgiving, around Christmas, to try to find a place to live and put down a security deposit and all that stuff. But if I would call offices half the time, they wouldn't be open because it was the day before Thanksgiving or something, you know what I mean? So, you know, that's not like the end of the world. It's just an annoyance. If you graduate in May, you don't have to deal with the holidays and you don't have to deal with wacky hours and you don't have to deal with people being closed because they want to be with their families on Thanksgiving and Christmas. How selfish of them. Didn't they know I was trying to accept a job and get an apartment? You know, just rude people, honestly. Next con I already kind of talked about at the beginning, so I'm not gonna go super in depth, but like I said, you have less time in college. If you don't like college, then who cares? You know, graduate early, that's great. But if you do like college and you do want to put off your career a little bit more, yes, it is kind of a downside to cheat yourself of a semester or two of fun college life. The other con is you might not be graduating with your friends. I graduated with quite a few friends because I had quite a few friends who were either a little bit older than me or were graduating early as well. So we graduated together. But if you have a lot of friends who are in your same graduating class, then you might not graduate with them, which is kind of sucky, but I don't feel like it's a huge deal personally. Anyway, that is my list. Those are my pros and cons. There might be others and everyone's different, so everyone's gonna have different reasons and circumstances, but personally I think the biggest two things it came down with to me was the money and the fun of college, and just one outweighing the other. And then there are just little other random things that I found could be pros or cons once I did graduate early. But at the end of the day, just if you want to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. I had to take summer classes in order to graduate early because I had 2 other credits that I wasn't going to be able to fit in unless I took 18 hours my last semester, which I did not want to do. So I do think if you do want to graduate early, think about how to do it without overloading like 1 or 2 semesters and consider summer classes. Anyway, those are the pros and cons that I came up with. I hope they were helpful and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you can give it a like. You can also subscribe to me. I would say I put out videos every week, but we all know that that hasn't been happening, so it's the goal, but right now, it's not the truth. Anyway, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.